Empires usually fall because they grow weak. This one fell because it became too cruel. Long before Rome dominated Europe, long before the Mongols reshaped Asia, there existed an empire that mastered fear as a governing tool. It did not rely on myths. It did not hide its violence. It documented it. This is not legend. This is not exaggeration. This is the true recorded history of Assyria. Assyria began as a small and vulnerable city along the Tigris River. It was surrounded by enemies, rival kingdoms, and constant threats. Survival was never guaranteed. From its earliest days, Assyria learned one lesson well: only strength ensured existence. Over generations, that lesson hardened into identity. War was no longer an emergency response, it became a permanent condition. Assyrian society reorganized itself around conquest. Religion, politics, and military power fused into a single structure. The king ruled not only as a monarch, but as a divine instrument. By the 9th century BCE, Assyria had transformed into the most powerful military force the ancient world had ever seen. Its army was revolutionary. It was permanent, professional, and disciplined. Soldiers were trained, equipped, and paid by the state. Iron weapons replaced bronze. Siege towers shattered city walls. Battering rams crushed gates once thought impenetrable.
But Assyria's most powerful weapon was not forged from metal.
It was fear. Before Assyrian armies even arrived, cities surrendered.
Assyrian warriors, heed me. We know the consequences of resistance. Submission is our path to survival. Defiance brings ruin.
Not because they lacked walls, but because they knew the consequences of resistance. Assyrian kings made sure those consequences were known. Punishments were public. Executions were ceremonial. Violence was deliberate and documented. Rebels were flayed alive. Their skins were displayed on city walls. Leaders were impaled. Heads were stacked in visible piles.
These acts were not hidden crimes. They were recorded in royal inscriptions.
Carved into palace reliefs, displayed for foreign envoys to see. This was state policy. Fear was not chaos. Fear was administration. Entire populations were deported. Families were uprooted from their homelands and scattered across the empire. Languages faded. Cultures dissolved.
This was not random brutality.
It was strategic control. Displacement destroyed identity. Fear destroyed resistance.
Assyria did not merely conquer territory.
It dismantled societies. Under Assyrian rule, law existed only for the powerful. The conquered had no courts, no appeals, no protection. Taxes were extracted in grain, labor, and children. Young men were taken for forced labor. Skilled workers were relocated to serve imperial needs. Life under Assyria was defined by silence. Silence meant survival. The kings of Assyria ruled as engineers of terror. Ashur-nasir-pal II perfected cruelty as spectacle. He held feasts beneath walls carved with images of torture. Foreign diplomats dined while surrounded by scenes of execution. Tiglath-Pileser III transformed terror into bureaucracy. The empire was divided into provinces. Governors ruled with absolute authority. Rebellion was met with systematic annihilation. Sennacherib pushed Assyria to its darkest moment. When Babylon rebelled, he destroyed it completely. He flooded the city, desecrated its temples, and declared it erased forever. That act sent shockwaves across the ancient world. It turned fear into hatred, and hatred into resolve. Assyria had no allies, only subjects, only survivors. Fear maintained order, but it never created loyalty. Hatred does not disappear, it waits. As decades passed, Assyria's borders stretched thin. Continuous war drained resources. Relentless brutality unified enemies.
The garrison is weak here. Yes,
Former subjects began to coordinate. Babylonians, Medes, peoples who had suffered under Assyrian rule. In 612 BCE, they struck. The capital city of Nineveh was besieged. Once invincible walls collapsed, palaces burned, libraries were destroyed. The destruction was total. Assyria was not conquered, it was erased. So complete was its fall that within generations its cities were forgotten. Sand covered ruins, languages vanished, kings became myths. For centuries the world did not know where Nineveh had stood. Assyria believed fear could replace justice, that terror could secure permanence, that violence could sustain empire. It was wrong. Power without legitimacy collapses. Empires built on cruelty create enemies faster than armies. Assyria mastered domination, but it never learned restraint. And when it fell, no one came to save it.
Obey or face the consequences! Bow before your masters!
Because fear creates obedience, but never loyalty. And when fear disappears, so does the empire built upon it.